Hey everybody, welcome to another Yukon Bob video. Good to see you. Still down in the Caribbean this week in the St. Vincent and the Grenadine Islands. The last video was all about Mayreau, which was a land-based operation for Tradewinds, an organization that we belong to. It's a sailing organization, but they've also got places on land. So we did the island of Mayreau last week, and now we've moved off and we're in the island of Canouan, and we're about to get on board a 60-foot catamaran of Tradewinds to sail around some of the islands in the Grenadines chain. So come on with us as we take a look at some of the islands that make up the Grenadines in the lower Antilles or the lesser Antilles of the South Caribbean Sea.
We were transported over to our boat by dinghy. The boat's name, by the way, was called Swept Away, a 60-foot catamaran. Everybody climbed on board, and one of the traditions of Tradewinds is you take your shoes off just as soon as you climb aboard the boat and keep your shoes off and wear bare feet on the boat. The captain on our boat was Nathan. He was from South Africa. He was also in charge of getting that first cocktail into us, and our first mate, the cook, the chef, was Donnie, who was also from South Africa. So a little cocktail to get us underway.
Not every Tradewinds crew member can do that, by the way. That is a skill. Quite often you get these beautiful sunsets because the Tradewinds boats always pull out around 5 o'clock or so, or a little after 5 o'clock, and the sun is just setting on the horizon, and you get these great sunsets. Not that spectacular tonight, but all of that luggage is going to get stored shortly. We'll get our rooms assigned to us, take all the luggage down, unpack it, everything tucked away, then bring the suitcases back up. There's a Davy Jones locker way up in the front of the boat, and they'll store the suitcases in those lockers for the rest of the trip. Kind of cool on the Tradewinds boats. Every night for dinner they set the table here at the back. This is where we have all our meals right here, but there's a different colored tablecloth that comes out every night. I don't know if there's a system to it or not, but tonight, first night's going to be purple. There you go.
Hello, bang, bang, bang. Ladies and gentlemen, for main tonight we have a lovely grilled pineapple chicken, some white rice. We got balsamic roasted veggies, garlic green beans, and a homemade sweet chili sauce.
Okay.
Enjoy.
Considering that the kitchen's pretty small on one of these boats, Donnie's cooking skills were absolutely excellent. He's had 2 years culinary training in South Africa, and his sauces were bang on.
Good morning, everyone. It is the first day aboard the Tradewinds 60-foot catamaran. Slept okay last night. Sometimes that first night on the boat can be a little awkward, trying to get to sleep with the rocking and rolling back and forth, but seems to be okay. So day one on the boat, breakfast on these boats is usually served around 8 o'clock in the morning. First thing you got to do is get yourself a cup of coffee right in the morning. They've got that ready to go first thing in the morning. So we're going to have breakfast about 8 o'clock, and then we'll get our briefing as to what we're going to be doing on the boat today. How's the book?
I'm catching up to you.
You're catching up to me. We're both reading the same book on this trip. It's the Harry book called The Spare. Harry from the royal family. So we're reading the same book. You can see that other boat just anchored right over there. That's another Tradewinds boat. Quite often on these trips what they do is they send 1 or 2 boats together. They kind of just parallel one another all the way around the islands over the course of a week, so that if one boat runs out of something, you can resupply. If there's any kind of mechanical difficulties or something like that, they can help each other. So that's going to be the case this week as well. That's a 59-foot boat over there. Our captain used to be the captain of that boat. He's now on the 60-footer, so this is a little quicker, a little faster boat. A little newer boat also. This boat's 2019, so this is fairly new, and they've just redone all the wood on the boat and sanded it down and restained it and all of that, so it's looking like it's in pretty good shape. One of the newer boats in the Tradewinds fleet. First breakfast on the boat. We've got some cheese, we've got some toast, looks like some hard-boiled eggs down there, fruit plate, cheese plate, juices, and then there's always cereal if you want cereal. The one thing I noticed on these boats is that, for Americans at least, they love their hot sauce. And there's always about 3 types of hot sauce, and they eat them with every damn meal and with every type of food.
And the plan for today is shortly after breakfast, we're going to tidy up as quick as possible, pick up anchor, and sail around to Mayreau, to a little bay over here called Saline Bay. And there is an awesome snorkel to be done there. Also a beautiful beach to hang around on. We'll hang around there until just after lunch, before picking up anchor again and heading around to this western edge of Union Island called Chatham Bay.
I think what's going to happen is we're going to end up doing a lot of the same stuff we did last week off the Zodiac from our Terra base. This is be several weeks ago, the last video, but from our Terra base in Mayreau, we're going to end up doing a lot of the same things. We're going to go to the same bays, and they're talking about having a bonfire tonight. We just did that a couple nights ago, so we'll see how much sort of overlap or duplication there is in doing a couple of these trips back to back. Nice morning. Gonna have the dishes cleaned up here right away from breakfast, get all that stuff stowed away, pull anchor, and make our way over to Mayreau, which is the next island, back over that away, past that island, back behind there. So this is one of the cool things about the some of the 60-foot catamarans is they've got a lift platform on the back of them. You just pull the dinghy right up on top of the lift platform, hit the button, the hydraulics come up, and your lift platform comes out of the water. Not only is that great for the dinghy, but when you're in the water swimming or snorkeling or even diving, you can just come right off that platform. It's a great little launch pad.
That's how it works.
That's beautiful. I like it. Ladder up, motor running, anchors next. Okay, anchor is up and in place, and away we go. We are free from the bottom. Lois always likes to bring along the Canadian flag with her when she goes on these sailing trips with trade winds, so she's brought it along on this trip, and we didn't really do a vote. We probably should have done a vote since we're the only 2 Canadians on board. Everybody else is either American or from South Africa, so we should have done a vote to see if it's okay to put up the Canadian flag, because we're in the minority here, but I think it's okay. People are going to be all right with it. We'll stick it up for a while. We know this way we won't be shot at. So the captain has officially declared the pool is open, which means it's good to go for everybody to jump in with snorkel gear and snorkel along that reef. This is Saline Bay.
For lunch today, we have an apricot marinated kingfish, garlic couscous, and a pineapple salsa, all complemented with a white wine. Enjoy. You got a apricot
Kingfish. I wonder what that looks like in the water. That's what it looks like after it's been caught.
And it is made with coconut rum, lime juice, cream of coconut, as well as a little bit of the bitter lemon, the local Haroon bitter lemon. Yeah, then in a blend with a whole bunch of ice. That's about that.
Even garnished. Look at
Even
that.
garnished.
Well, as you can maybe hear, it's blowing again this morning. It hasn't let up all night, so we're getting some pretty strong gusts of wind on this trip. Too much to fly the drone, so I haven't been able to do that. It's the next morning again, and we are just about ready to have breakfast. I've got my back to the wind, so hopefully that helps a little bit. Beautiful morning, except for the wind is just kind of gusty and blowing quite strong. Gonna have breakfast, then we'll get the game plan for the day. There might be a dive in order today, I'm not sure, but we will be pulling up and leaving anchorage out of here shortly because we've been here since about 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Howling a bit, and we will see what the day has in store for us once we get our briefing.
Is after lunch, we are going to head all the way back up here to Canouan, to a bay called Little Bay, which has an incredible snorkel with some awesome free diving and some real diving, which is where our divers are going to do their first dive of the week. And that is where we'll spend the evening tonight.
Just want to give you a quick shot of on a boat what they call the galley. This is Donnie's domain. This is his area. This is where he hangs out. Look at this big double fridge. We've got a 4-burner, 5-burner?
5-burner.
5-burner stove. Microwave. Most importantly, where's the dishwasher? Ah, okay, so there's a lot of dishes on the boat. You can imagine with 12 people, 3 meals a day, you're going through a fair amount of dishes, especially when you're going to offer like an appetizer, a main course, and then a dessert. And everybody's got a wine glass and another glass. Yeah, you're going through a lot of dishes. So what happens on one of these boats is the captain, it's Nathan, he helps out Donnie with all the sort of food service, setting the table, clearing and doing the dishes and stuff like that. And then when it's time to lift anchorage or pull away somewhere, Donnie's up front with the ball, unhooking the anchor, doing all that stuff up front. So it's a real team effort on a boat like this. Just put out a fishing line, see what we can catch, maybe for some ceviche or maybe for dinner tonight. Quite often on these trips we'll catch fish. We'll catch maybe red snapper, might catch some barracuda, which is not the best, but snapper or something like that. Maybe some jacks, we'll see. You'll kind of hear the line go spooling out once something hits the line. It's on the clicker, so you'll hear that. We'll know that we've got a fish on. We'll just slow the boat up and bring it in. It's always kind of fun.
A mahi.
It's a tuna. Look how red that meat was. So Donnie has turned that fish that we caught a little bit earlier, probably how long ago? 3 hours?
4.
3 hours ago, and he has turned that into sushi with some wasabi, some soy, crackers. That is the fish, 3 hours old, out of the water. A little bit of tuna.
Not really.
Let's do a dip in here.
And in that probation period. I mean, all your experience should be on like 8 and then you go ahead and some very big kitchen.
Wow. That is tender. That is fresh. That is delicious.
Hang on. And this is the area where it goes from like 500 feet to about 30 feet. So that's why you get all these massive swells in here. The water is kind of funneling through. Well, the race has been won. We are just coming into Bequia now, and you're not even going to be able to see this, I don't think, but the other boat now is way behind us out there. It's not that one over there, it's way further back. So coming into Bequia, we've got quite a lead on them, and Bequia is just around the corner up here, so I think we can call this race done, and we are the winners. There's Bequia right up ahead.
So after dinner, about 8 o'clock, 8:30, yeah, they're gonna have live music tonight. Pretty cool.
I can see it. Yeah. Well, good morning, everyone. It is Thursday morning now. Everybody slept in just a little bit longer this morning because we were up a little later last night. It was the Mystique Blues Fest Music Festival going on the island of Mystique last night, so we were in for that. And everybody enjoyed the music. Didn't get back to the boat till probably about 11 o'clock last night. Everybody just kind of enjoying the music, so sleeping in a little bit longer today. Got the first cup of coffee going this morning. Not sure exactly what our game plan is for today. All I know is that once you hit about Wednesday on a trade winds boat, everything seems to speed up a little bit. You know, Monday, the first 4 days on the boat, everything seems a little slower. Then as you get a little bit further into the trip, everything starts to speed up a little more. So we've got a few more days left on the boat. We're going to have breakfast shortly and then get a briefing by our captain as to what the itinerary is for today. And we'll go from there.
We are currently here in Mystique in Britannia Bay, where we did an awesome evening last night in Basil's Bar for the Mystique Blues Festival. And the plan for today is, after breakfast, we're going to clear up. If you guys want to go for a quick snorkel or a swim before we leave, you are welcome to do so. And then we're going to head all the way down south past Canouan into the Tobago Keys over here. which is a tiny little grouping of islands surrounded by a big reef system called the Horseshoe Reef. And we're going to pick up a mooring ball near the turtle sanctuary. And yeah, pretty much the plan for the day would be hang around, swim with some turtles, go check out the reef.
Fins might be a good idea.
Tobago Keys, that's the very popular spot here in the Grenadines. It's the place with all the green sea turtles. We saw a pile of them swimming yesterday. I've never seen so many turtles in one location. Small ones, great big ones. And they don't seem to be bothered by it. You can kind of get right down beside them. You can even touch their back. It's not advisable, but you can kind of get down really close to them. They just sort of swim right by you. They don't seem to be bothered by it. Here's a fellow who just pulls right up to the boat with his boat, and he starts selling t-shirts. It's a captive audience. This is true entrepreneurship at its best. He's got a whole bunch of t-shirts in there, and I think we're going to have a look and maybe buy a couple.
Oh, look at a little turtle on it. And then a big turtle on the back.
Anything in color? Blue, black?
Find out if he has rash guards.
Rash guards too? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, man.
Let me walk over here so you can get a little better view of the shirt I just bought. What do you think of this? It says Tobago Keys on there, and I think there's a picture of a turtle on the back. So,
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
So you didn't see the next one that you like, the big one?
No. Nice.
No.
Well, that's great. He's probably sold about 8 shirts here. I don't know if I've mentioned it yet, but this is Nathan and Donnie's last trip aboard this catamaran. After this trip, so literally in 24 hours or so from now, they are wrapping up and they're moving to a brand new base. Nathan's going to be the captain on another 60-footer. That sun is kind of blocking me. Going to be the captain on another 60-foot boat in Abacos. Excited?
Very, very excited.
Yeah, new area, right?
Yeah, new adventures, new area. Very excited for it.
And Donnie, what's your plans? You're heading over there too, but what's...
Yeah, I'm heading over there. I'm going to be first mate on a boat called Life.
Okay.
And yeah, we might just be there for the next year.
Yeah, and we might see you guys there at some point in the future over in the Abacos.
Yeah,
New base, exciting, setting up a whole new operation.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. First couple of weeks learning where all the snorkeling is, diving is, all that fun stuff.
Excellent. That's always a lot of fun with trade winds when you're part of the crew, right? You get to move around to these different bases and see new areas, and then you get to know them. It's not like you're going around once. You maybe go around these places 60, 70, 80 times or something, so you really get to know it. Just noticed that the other trade winds boat that's traveling around with us, Faith, is directly in front of us. That's one of the older boats. That's a 59-footer. I think that's a 14 or 16-year-old boat, one of the older ones in the trade winds fleet. Our boat is only about 4 years old. Okay, he's got the ball. Let's go have a cocktail with no alcohol. We're diving this afternoon, so that means no alcohol. So this is Happy Island, and this is the famous place right here. And there's Happy right there himself.
Not Happy. Happy's off island.
Oh, yeah. He's off island?
Yeah, he's just gone over.
Hi, Bob.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Lovely little spot. I was here 2018.
Right.
Always remembered it.
Okay.
And I was hoping to get back again, so here we are.
You're here.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna take some pictures.
Go ahead.
Beautiful. So this is kind of how this whole island started, with these conch shells. And they just built some concrete around it, and the whole island was built out of these conch shells. And then obviously later on, they poured concrete and everything else to keep the water back, but it all began by bringing in conch shells onto a little bit of sand and building up this island. Let's do it. Let's do a cheer. Cheers! That's the fruit punch drink. Woo! Woo!
Love it.
Well, guys, that's gonna do it for another Yukon Bob video. Thanks very much for coming along on this trip with us on this 60-foot Tradewinds catamaran as we sailed around the island of St. Vincent and the Grenadines in the Eastern Caribbean. It's been a great week. I want to thank all the people who traveled with us on the boat. They were fantastic. Our crew, both Nathan and Donnie, they were great as well. They're moving on now from this base to the Abaco, so this is their last trip as well throughout the Grenadines. Saw some neat country this time. Mystique Island, Canouan Island, Union Island, Bequia Island. Really got a sense of the Grenadines this time that I didn't have before on the last trip I was here. So I'll be back here. This is beautiful water, the gem of the Caribbean. I love the color of the water here. It's absolutely beautiful. And we will be back in some point in the future on another one of these trips with Tradewinds. So thanks for coming along. We'll see you guys on the next Yukon Bob video. Till then, stay safe and take care.